Cadets, I'm Rainbow Luna. I create videos on magic, autism awareness, and I'm basically here to just challenge the system. In this video, I want to make a list of characters that I headcanon as autistic and also comment on how they are portrayed. I thought I was going to find only a few, but I actually found over 30 characters, and I'm not going to list them all in one video, so I'm going to make part 1 and 2, etc, etc. I'm only going to do characters whose autism is not mentioned on the show, only hinted at. But before I do, let me give you a brief description of what autism is. A lot of people refer to it as a learning disability, but I do not agree with that term. Being autistic just means seeing the world differently, and just because you see it differently, it doesn't make it wrong or broken. Autism is a spectrum, so just because you've met one person of the spectrum, it does not mean that you have met them all. A few autism traits are struggling to read social cues, understand social situations, taking things literally, struggling with eye contact and sarcasm. They may use stimming to cope with emotions or environments because they are just very sensitive. Enjoy spending a lot of time alone. Fixates on few specific subjects or hobbies, also known as their special interests, and could talk about them for hours, usually something that the average person would not be interested in. They tend to put on a mask of a fake persona, not to be fake or manipulative or to mess with people. It's just that they want to avoid being bullied for being their true selves. That's all. When overwhelmed, they can have tantrums, meltdowns, or shutdowns. And they are going to come off as being over dramatic, as one might say, but they're not being dramatic. They just feel things very deeply. So, number 10 is Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. When you think of a character with ASD, Sheldon Cooper is the first that comes to mind. He is the most iconic, obviously. His special interests are comic books, superheroes, Star Wars, TV shows, and movies, especially if they are sci-fi, science, the universe, and basically any historical event that has occurred. His portrayal is both great and terrible. Let's start with why it's terrible. His struggles, where he sees the world differently and he can't always make friends, is mostly played for laughs. Yeah, it's true that you should be able to laugh at yourself sometimes. There are some moments in the series that I did find funny. The problem is that Sheldon is portrayed as the most annoying person on the face of the earth. And when I got diagnosed with autism, my parents told me, "You know Sheldon Cooper? He's autistic just like you." I didn't know any other character that was autistic, so seeing Sheldon just behaving like that, being treated like that, made me feel like I was beyond repair. I know that autism is not something to be fixed, but that is just what I was feeling like back then. Keep in mind, I was 14 years old, okay? And my tutor in school, who was a psychologist, even told me, yeah, I know what autism is. I do watch The Big Bang Theory. Sheldon's impossible. I don't know how anyone could tolerate him. And that made me want to die. Of course, now I understand that autism varies with everyone. What's even worse is that the writers refuse to acknowledge that he is on the spectrum. They even had the actors speak out and say the usual crap, such as, "Well, Isn't everyone a little autistic? No, no, no. If every single person in the world was a little autistic, we, actual autistic people, would not need a diagnosis in the first place. And getting a diagnosis is not easy. It costs a lot. A lot, okay? But I am grateful that they portrayed a neurodivergent character in the first place. I got my mom hooked on the show, and that was the only reason that I actually got a diagnosis, because she saw Sheldon in me. Over the years, his portrayal has improved a tad. For example, Leonard saying he doesn't do it on purpose, it's just how he is, but he is loyal, and they have fun together.
He's a little broken and he needs me. I guess I need him too.
And in the Young Sheldon spinoff, it's still sort of played for laughs, but it's much better portrayed because on that spinoff, they focus more on having him grow as a character and learn from his mistakes instead of just keeping him in the dark about how things actually are in the world. The 9th character is Beth Harmon from Queen's Gambit. I should have been able to tell from her aloofness and resting bitch face that she was autistic. But I couldn't tell until she was being interviewed in her own home, where she says that she likes chess because she can be in control, she feels safe where everything is predictable. Her special interest obviously being chess, and when she plays, she even walks around. It's kind of a tactic that helps her focus. Most autistic people walk around in circles sometimes, just daydreaming, just dozing off. She can even play in her head. It's crazy. And sadly, even loses a potential relationship because she just doesn't know how to express her feelings. I think that her portrayal was great. The actress understood the character inside out. She knew exactly what to do, and the writer said that she was inspired by a few people they knew. I love how strong and confident she is with her gift. It really is a great series. And the 8th character is Dawn Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know that people hate her so much, but I love her. When I was younger, she was my favorite character. I really understood her and related to her so much. The thing is that when she was first introduced, she was definitely written to be autistic, but as the series continued, that stopped. In real life, one does not stop having autism. The writers clearly didn't know what to do with her character anymore. So later on, they just wrote her to be very neurotypical. But when she was written to be autistic, she would blurt out the wrong thing at the wrong time for no apparent reason. She has a lot of tantrums and meltdowns, and fans react so badly to her when she does, saying things like, oh my god, like take a chill pill. Guys, when an autistic person has a meltdown, the last thing they need to hear is to take a chill pill or to relax. When you're autistic, you feel things so deeply because you're sensitive to everything. I know it sounds like I'm just excusing her bratty behavior, but it is how it is. It breaks my heart that she's so misunderstood in the fandom. She gets way too much hate. The 7th character is Nancy Drew from the movie Nancy Drew. I know that there's also a TV series, but I have never seen it. I have no idea how she is portrayed in that one. But Emma Roberts' performance of Nancy is spectacular. She dresses differently from others. She is crazy smart and is able to remember every little detail from her cases and mysteries and could spend hours talking about them. I love the character. However, I feel that the movie is a bit forgettable, nevertheless enjoyable. And the 6th character is Yugi Muto from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not talking about Duel Monsters, I'm talking about Season 0. If you have not heard of it, it is because it has never aired outside of Japan. Although I have not seen Duel Monsters, I have only seen season 0, I'm pretty sure that he is portrayed exactly the same. Yugi's special interests are riddles and games, and he is really, really good at them. He is just so pure, sweet, shy, and sensitive. He is portrayed in a really, really nice way, and his autism is really more on the mild side. Like, you would have to pay really, really close attention to him to see that he actually is on the spectrum. He struggles to make friends sometimes, but he cherishes them deeply. And the 5th character is Mumble from Happy Feet. I love this movie as a child. Okay, so I wouldn't say that Mumble is exactly autistic, but I do see it as a metaphor for autism, because Mumble doesn't really struggle with social cues. He doesn't take things literally, but he does want to make friends and is always rejected. In the movie, penguins use songs to express their feelings, and Mumble just does not know how to do that. He expresses his feelings in a different way. He uses dancing, which is like a different way of communicating, and to other penguins that's seen as weird. But in the end, he found a way to embrace his gift and his uniqueness. So yeah, it's a really nice portrayal. The 4th character is Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls. I love Bubbles! Bear in mind, I did not watch the reboot. I have no idea how she is portrayed in that one. So I'm talking about the 90s version created by Lauren Faust. Bubbles is the cutest thing ever. She is the embodiment of joy and laughter and happiness. She is super sensitive and feels emotions to an extreme, meaning that when she's happy, she feels it very deeply. When she's sad, she feels it very deeply. And when she's angry, she also feels it very deeply. And she's also a bit naive, which is actually an accurate portrayal of having ASD.
You can't park next to a fire hydrant! I didn't know!
Although her character is sometimes over the top exaggerated because she is a cartoon character. The 3rd character is Goku's son from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Goku is amazing. He is so pure of heart. His special interests are getting stronger and fighting. He's very loyal, kind, and affectionate. Doesn't understand social rules. People say, oh, it's because he's an alien. He grew up in the wild. Until he was 12, the only human he ever saw was his grandpa. I'm pretty sure that if he grew up in the city, he would still be autistic, just with a different personality. And we've seen other Saiyans interact. They don't have a problem with social cues, while Goku does, because autism is something you are born with, not something you grow into. A lot of anime fans actually think that he is stupid because he takes things literally and has a different perception of the world.
Pinky swear on it.
Hey, it's impolite to swear.
And he's not stupid. He's actually really intelligent. He always comes up with great ways to save the day. He's very sweet, super brave, always happy. And if something upsets him, he doesn't dwell on it for too long. So yeah, I think that his portrayal is fantastic. I cannot speak for Dragon Ball Super because I do not watch that one. And the 2nd character is Fluttershy from My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I'm also pretty sure that every character on the show is a little neurodivergent. Fluttershy loves to make friends, but she has a lot of social anxiety. But when she sees an animal, her social anxiety disappears. And autistic people tend to be more comfortable with animals more than they are with people. Also, animals are her special interest and could spend hours talking about them or to them.
A talking dragon. And what do dragons talk about?
What do you want to know?
Absolutely everything.
I love how they show that each character is flawed, but they can overcome those flaws with baby steps. I think that this is probably the best show for anyone who is on the spectrum. And in first place, we have Wednesday Addams as portrayed by Christina Ricci. I love what the actress brought to the character. Her monotone voice, deadpan deliveries, and resting bitch face just scream ASD. She doesn't really care to socialize with others, especially people who she knows are just not worth her time. She dresses differently from others, refuses to conform, and is never afraid to speak her mind. I guess her special interest would be...
boys.
Homicide.
When you're autistic, you are going to be shamed for not being like everybody else, but Wednesday actually knows that her uniqueness is what makes her so strong. She is an icon to anyone who feels different, and her portrayal is simply amazing. Well, that's it for this video. If there are any other characters that you headcanon as autistic, then just drop them down below in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Blessed be, and bye!
I'm your little butterfly. Green, black, and blue, make the colors in the sky.